Hello and welcome in our YouTube channel Metallurgical Facts. In this video series, we are doing metallurgical engineering question practice for GATE 2021. Okay, so this is part 4th of this video series. I will request you to watch all three parts of this video series. That will be very beneficial for your GATE metallurgy preparation. Okay, so this is just for practicing purpose of for the GATE exam. So the first question of this video is: a steel rod was subjected to a fluctuating stress cycle that varied between maximum of 400 MPa in tension to minimum of 300 MPa in compression. Okay, so what is the stress amplitude in megapascal? So we will see this. What is this stress amplitude? Before this, we will see what other concepts we can learn from this question. Okay, so this question basically comes from the fatigue cycle. Okay, so suppose if we are drawing a curve between the stress, that is sigma, and the cycles, so we will get a fluctuating stress like this. Okay, so a fluctuating stress is basically a combination of mean stress, you can say, or mean stress is also known as steady stress, and the alternative or variable stress. Okay, so this is known as fluctuating stress. Okay, so what I told, this fluctuating stress is basically composed of mean plus alternative stress, alternating stress. Okay, so now suppose if we are trying to draw a curve between this sigma, that is stress, and between this cycle. Okay, so we will get curve like that, and in this curve we will be given sigma max value and sigma minimum value, and we can find many things from this curve itself. Okay, so first thing we can find from this curve is stress range. Okay, so you should remember these things. You can write these formulas also, I have shared on Telegram channel. Okay, so this stress range is basically sigma max minus sigma min. Okay, so whatever the sigma maximum value, we will subtract this from this sigma minimum. Okay, so we will get the stress range. So this stress range is basically this value. Okay, so this is the range between the maximum, and this is the maximum and the minimum. Okay, and the next thing we can calculate through this diagram is stress amplitude. Okay, so stress amplitude, how we can represent this stress amplitude, that is sigma a, and stress range sigma r. Okay, so sigma a is equals to basically stress amplitude we can calculate by sigma r by 2. Okay, so here we can say that sigma max minus sigma min by 2 is stress amplitude. Okay, so the third formula in this series is mean stress. Okay, so how we can calculate mean of anything by taking the average. Okay, so how we can take average? Sigma max plus sigma min by 2. Okay, so this is mean stress, that is sigma m is equal to sigma max plus sigma min by 2. Okay, so next thing we can learn from this question is stress ratio. Okay, so you can write down this formula. This formula is very important for fatigue type of questions. Okay, stress ratio, how we can calculate? Stress ratio we can calculate by sigma min by sigma max. Okay, the next and last thing is amplitude ratio. So this is stress amplitude. Now we will see the amplitude ratio. Amplitude ratio, how we can calculate amplitude ratio, that is a is equals to basically sigma a by sigma m. Means if we will take the ratio of stress amplitude to the mean stress, we will get this stress amplitude. Okay, so I am not writing formula here again. Okay, so if we will simplify those things, so we will get like that: 1 minus r by 1 plus r. This is amplitude ratio. Okay, so for this question, in this question they are asking that a steel rod was subjected to a fluctuating stress cycle that varied between maximum of 400 MPa in tension. Okay, so sigma max value is 400 MPa. So this is the given thing, and we are doing this question now. So this is the part of this question. This is the formula we can use in this type of questions. Okay, and this is very important part. So the next thing is in tension to a minimum of 300 MPa in compression. Okay, so sigma min value is given. Sigma min is basically 300 MPa and this is in compression. Okay, so compression is basically, suppose if we are taking here it is 0 at origin, so this will be in plus value. Suppose they will give the minimum value here, so this will be in minus. So also we can say that this is compression. Okay, so this is tensile, this is tension, this is compression. So we can represent it by sign also. So here they are asking minimum of 300 MPa in compression, so we can take say sigma min minus 300 MPa. Okay, so now what is the question? Stress amplitude. So stress amplitude we can calculate by using formula number 2. So stress amplitude, I am writing here sigma a. Sigma a is equals to sigma max minus sigma min by 2. Okay, so sigma max value is 400 and sigma min is minus 300. So this we can add and we can get the answer from here. So that answer will be 350 MPa. Okay, so stress amplitude in this question we can find like that, and the answer will be 350 MPa. Okay, so the correct answer is 350. The next question is MSQ type of question. This is multiple select type of questions, and this is a new question pattern in GATE 2021. Okay, so that's why I'm trying to include this type of questions as much as I can. Okay, so the question is Martensitic transformation in plain carbon steel occurs by, so four options are diffusion of carbon, shear mechanism, no diffusion of carbon, diffusion of iron. Okay, so here they have given four options and we have to choose multiple select. Okay, so maybe one option may be correct, or all four also may be correct. Okay, so this is more than one type of question. So the martensitic transformation in plain carbon steel is very important. This martensitic transformation is basically, I am not telling you everything about this martensitic transformation, just I am telling you what are the points we can remember, we should remember regarding this martensitic transformation. Okay, so this martensitic transformation I am writing here, this martensitic transformation occurs without compositional change. Okay, so there is no composition change occurs in martensitic transformation, during martensitic transformation. Okay, so these are the points you may remember for MSQs type of questions in martensitic transformation. Okay, so martensitic transformation occurs without compositional changes. So the next thing is, this martensitic transformation is basically a process of shear. Okay, so there is a shape change into the shape by the during the transformation by these shear forces. Okay, so FCC get changes into the BCT. Okay, so this is the whole transformation, and this BCC to BCT changes occurs. Okay, so this austenite, FCC austenite, basically this FCC austenite gets changed into this BCT martensite. Okay, so this is the transformation that take place during the martensitic transformation. Okay, so the third thing is, this is the process of shear. So and there is no diffusion take place. Okay, so this is the diffusionless process. Okay, so no diffusion occurs. So this is diffusionless process. You may say that this is diffusionless process. Okay, no diffusion occurs, so this is diffusionless. So the next thing is that no diffusion occurs, diffusionless process, and this is the process of shear, you may say. Okay, so here, from here we can observe that this martensitic transformation in plain carbon steel occurs by diffusion of carbon, so this is wrong. Okay, shear mechanism, this B is correct. The third thing is no diffusion of carbon, so this is also correct, there is no diffusion take place. Okay, so this C is also correct. D is diffusion of iron, so this is wrong. Okay, so from these statements we can conclude that this B and C option is correct for this question. The saturation magnetization of BCC iron is given, that is 1750 kilo ampere per meter. Okay, calculate the net magnetic moment per iron atom in crystal. Okay, so given data is the lattice parameter of BCC iron is given. So lattice parameter of BCC iron ABCC is given, that is 2.87 angstrom. Okay, so the next thing is given, that is saturation magnetization. Okay, so I am writing here saturation magnetization. So this is very important question, and this is very important question. They may give this type of question in GATE 2021 also. Okay, so this is example I have taken from a Raghavan book. Okay, so this is saturation magnetization, and this A is given. They are asking for calculation of net magnetic moment per iron atom in crystal. Okay, so they are asking about net magnetic moment. So how we can relate this net magnetic moment to this saturation magnetization? So we can say that this saturation magnetization, there is a direct formula. Okay, so saturation magnetization, this saturation magnetization is basically a sum of the magnetic moments in per unit volume. Okay, so this saturation magnetization is equals to magnetic moment. And one more thing we have to take care in this type of question, that is unit conversion. Okay, so magnetic moment per unit volume is the saturation magnetization, and sometimes they are asking for per unit per iron atom, like per atom, so you can multiply it by number of atoms. This is basically number of effective atoms. Okay, so they are asking that this is iron atom. So iron atom is basically BCC iron, this is given. So number of effective iron in BCC is 2. Okay, so saturation, how we can calculate this saturation magnetization? So I am writing here as saturation magnetization is basically given, that is 1750 kilo ampere. So this 10 to the power 3, we can change it, this kilo, in amperes. Okay, so 1750 into 10 power 3 magnetic moment we have to find, and number of atoms 2. Okay, so volume how we can calculate? We know this ABCC, so volume of cubic is A cube. Okay, so V is equals to 2.87 multiplied by 10 to the power minus 10 whole cube. So from here we will calculate this volume. So this volume will be 23.639 into 10 to the power minus 30. Okay, so from here we will calculate this magnetic moment, that is mm, that will be equals to 2.068 multiplied by 10 to the power 23, and the unit is ampere meter square. Okay, so this is the unit, ampere per meter square. And sometimes they will ask you to calculate in mu b, that is in Bohr magnetron. Okay, so that they will ask you to calculate in Bohr magnetron also. So 1 mu b is equals to 9.273 multiplied by 10 to power 24 ampere meter square. So we can change accordingly. Okay, so in this question we can say that this is the answer, 2.068 into 10 minus 23 ampere meter square. Okay, so if they will ask you to calculate in Bohr magnetron unit, you may divide it, this value, by this magnetic moment. Okay, so you will get in Bohr magnetron. Okay, so if you will calculate in Bohr magnetron, you will get 2.2 mu b. Okay, so this is the correct answer. For this type of questions, this formula is very important. You can write down this formula, and this is very important formula for all the calculation of these type of questions. Okay, so in previous year you may find questions related to this saturation magnetization. You may apply this formula, you can calculate. If you find any problem in this type of questions, you may directly contact us on Instagram. So the next question is matching type of questions. So this is group first and this is group 2. So we have to match this group first to group 2. Okay, so the first thing is they have given Bayer's process, one alkyl iodide process, matrix process, and heavy media separation process. Okay, and these are the things they have given for which it is used. Okay, so for matching type of questions, I have told you that you will write like that, PQRS, then you will try to find the odd one or the common one. Okay, so in this type of in this matching, you will find that this heavy media separation is something different. Okay, so this is a mineral processing part, heavy media separation. So you can say this is mineral beneficiation. Okay, so we can match this S by 3. Okay, so this is how we can eliminate all the options, but we will not do that because this is practice session. Okay, so if you know the odd one or the common one, so you may reject the options, all other options, and you may find the correct options by that route also. Okay, so this is a practice session, that's why I will tell you everything about these matching. Okay, so the next thing is that this Bayes process is very common. I have told many time about this Bayes process. Bayes process is basically whenever you will take the name of Bayes process, take like that, Bayes leaching process. Okay, so this is basically leaching process, and this is used for the purification of bauxite. Okay, so you know aluminum we can produce by following two routes, that ore, by ore we do the leaching, that is known as Bayes process, and then we do the electrolysis process. Okay, so that is known as Hall Herold, and this is known as Bayer's process. Okay, so this Bayer's process is basically used for purification of bauxite ore. Okay, so this P we can match by this 2. Okay, so the next thing is one Urkel iodide process, and the other one is Midrix process. Okay, so Midrix process is very nice topic, and this year they have specifically mentioned in the syllabus. This Midrix process is in syllabus. So this Midrix process is basically an alternative route of iron making. So this is used for DRI, that is direct reduced iron, for making DRI, that is direct reduced iron. Okay, and this Midrix process is gas based. Okay, so these all are the information I am giving about the Midrix process. So this Midrix process is gas based shaft furnace process. Okay, so this Midrix process is gas based shaft furnace processes, and generally we use natural gases in these processes for reducing the iron ore. Okay, so this is the Midrix process, and we can the product we get in Midrix process is sponge iron, or if they will give the solid iron, so that will be also correct. Okay, this is for MSQ type of question. So sponge iron, solid iron, or DRI, these all are the product name of this Midrix processes. Okay, so the R we can match by 1. Okay, so the next thing is this one Urkel iodide process. Okay, so this one Urkel iodide process is very important, and this process is basically known by many names. Okay, so names are very important. Names of this process is very important. The first name of this process is you may say that crystal bar process. Okay, so this is also known as crystal bar process, or the other name is iodide process. Okay, and also this is known as vapor phase refining. Okay, so the alternative names of these processes are very important for extractive metallurgy part. At least for extractive metallurgy you should know all other names of the processes. Okay, so in case of heavy media separation, we can say that this is also known as DMS, that is dense media separation process. Okay, or this is also known as sink and float method. Okay, so sink and float method is also known as heavy media separation. Okay, so again, one Urkel iodide process is basically crystal bar process, vapor phase refining. In this process, what we do in refining in vapor phase. Okay, so we use the iodide, and we make the vapor we make the so volatile salts we make through this iodide process, and then we decomposes it into the metallic form. Okay, so pure ductile metallic zirconia is produced. Okay, so zirconium is produced through this process. Okay, so one Urkel process is basically used for refining of this titanium and zirconium. Okay, and this is vapor phase refining. So one Urkel we can we can relate through this purification of zirconium. Okay, so 4, so 2413 is correct code of this question. So whatever the option is starting other than 2 we can cross. Okay, so A option is wrong, B option is wrong. Okay, so C option 2413, so C is correct here. In this case D is wrong. Okay, so this is how we can match the questions. The next question is the single most important requirement for turbine blade material is. Okay, so this turbine blade material are very sophisticated. Okay, so for this turbine blade material, one thing is important, that is creep. Okay, so this is creep is at time temperature deformation. Okay, so the turbine blade must be creep resistance material. Okay, creep resistance material, because this during the service process, creep can result in seizing of the blades with the turbine casing. Okay, so that is the problem, during the turbine blade service condition. Okay, that's why we are using we most of the time use titanium, or we can say that super alloys are also used for this purpose. Okay, so here in this question we can say that the single most important requirement of turbine blade material is creep resistance. So C part is correct for this question. Thank you guys for your attention. Hope you have learned something new in this video. I will try to add more and more parts in this video series if I will get the positive feedback of this video series in comment section. Also, you may send us the questions you want in this video by us. So I will try to include those questions in this video series. And subscribe our channel and press bell icon to get notifications. Thank you.